Hey everyone, it's your boy Kyle Gray here. Welcome to day two, part two of the Connecting with Your Angels for Guidance and Protection free webinar series. It's an absolute pleasure and honor to be connecting with you again. And so excited to be doing this and to be connecting with the angels together. And I also just wanted to take the opportunity to thank you all for all your loving feedback, your comments, and your questions. This is so exciting to me. The fact that so many of us can come together in complete harmony from different parts of the world with this great love and interest in angels. It's so exciting. So thank you so much for really just making this feel so worthwhile. And I also wanted to share that if you get anything from this webinar series, anything that lights you up or sparks you up or ignites something within you, let's set an intention that whatever you get from this is something that you'll go out there and share. Because one of the greatest ways to experience or see angels is to be more like them or to be the angel. So when we are in service and intentional about bringing light and love and wellness and support to others, we actually attract angels towards us. So before we dive into today's lesson, which is really all about how to tune into your angels to receive guidance, which is a really important thing. And I'm going to be speaking to you today about my angel prayers methodology. If you haven't been exposed to my book, Angel Prayers, I would say it would be the most important offering that I have created in regards to helping others connect with angels. So today I am going to speak about the angel prayers technique and how you can connect with your angels through this angel prayers technique and also experience their answers. So before we do that, I'd love to hear where you're tuning in from. I can see Miami, Florida in the house, Staten Island in New York, and we've got France in the house, Spain, more Florida, Bonnie, Scotland, more Scotland, Michigan, Connecticut, Romania, Denmark, Delaware, Edinburgh, Cheektowaga, sorry, I can't even say that, Alberta, Canada, Springdale, Ohio, Quebec, Canada, Colorado, Sweden, Colombia, Poland, California, Cambridge, Massachusetts, Los Angeles, Staffordshire in the UK, Nebraska, more Colorado, Wolverhampton, Baltimore, Maryland, San Jose, Southern California, the Netherlands, Berlin, Germany, Pittsburgh, Ontario, Slovenia, Arkansas, Brentwood. So many places tuning in. Portugal, Georgia. Thank you so much for being here. If I didn't get your country, thank you for putting it in. I'm so sorry. There's over 2,000 people watching live right now, and this is a real pleasure. And of course, I'm going to be taking some of your questions today. And if you have any specific questions with regards to what we discussed on yesterday's call on the last webinar, I'd love to hear from you anything in specific to what we discussed previously. I'd love just to hear from you. So in the bottom of the screen, if you're watching this, you should be able to find a comment section or a Q&A button, and that will give you the opportunity to ask me a question. So that's really important. And so just a recap on yesterday or on the last lesson. The last lesson was all about helping you feel safe. And we really spent some time recognizing that many of us feel apprehensive with connecting with angels for a number of different reasons. It could be because we've been brought up in a religious background, because we've watched Hollywood and TV and television, and we've been kind of discouraged from having these very personal spiritual experiences. And the one thing that I've learned is that it's not actually that we're scared of angels. It's more everything that comes along with the experience of angels. Because when we begin to encounter the angelic and experience these beings, no longer is power in someone else's hands. No longer is this connection to something greater and divine in the hands of, your priest or your, religious leader or your coach or your guru or anything like that. The power comes back to you. And the truth is, not all of us are ready to be that powerful. And that's why we experience this feeling of being apprehensive of experiencing angels. But one of the most important things that I wanted to say with regards to that conversation is that any person that I've met who have experienced an angel always report this incredible love, this presence of being loved unconditionally. And I can, testify that from my own experiences and experiencing angels in my own life, is that whenever the angel is present, fear is impossible, because the angel emanates this love that is indescribable. And when that love is present, fear can only be a stranger. And it reminds me of the first time I ever encountered an angel. And the experience of this angel happened at a family friend's barbecue. I was 15 years old. I remember going to this family friend's barbecue with my mother, and she said, "Why don't you bring your angel cards along with you, and you can do a couple of readings for some of the people that are going to be at the barbecue." So 15-year-old curious me brought his angel cards along with him. And at that time, I had been doing angel cards, as a hobby for about 6 months. And I had got pretty good at it. This card means this and that card means that. And I got really good at just interpreting, the messages of the cards for people. But this one day changed everything forever. I remember doing a reading for this couple. One person went first. It was a gay couple. The first guy went. His reading was pretty good, but it wasn't like, anything to like write home about. And the second reading was what really changed the connection forever. I invited him to place his hands on top of the cards as they lay on the picnic table outside in this backyard. It was a warm summer's night. The sky was pink and blue and the sun was going down, but there was warmth in the air. And I asked him to close his eyes and think about anything that he would like support and guidance on. And I'd never met this guy in my entire life. It was my mum's friend's best friends from work partner. And I started to do this prayer, which I later found out every person who channels or does readings says. They always say a prayer something along the lines of, if there's any angels there, please let me be accurate. Please let me be right. Please let me prove to this guy that something is out there and something is real. I want to make a difference, something along those lines. And so I'm closing my eyes and just like hoping that I'm going to be accurate. And all of a sudden I start to hear music in my mind. I could hear this song playing over and over and over again. And I opened my eyes and I said to the person, "Hey, can you hear that?" And he was like, "No." couldn't hear what you're talking about. And I was like, well, I can hear the song Survivor by Destiny's Child. And he's like, no idea. And so if you don't know the song, it goes something along the lines of, I'm a survivor, I'm gonna make her keep on surviving. You know, something along those lines. So I hear the song and I close my eyes and I say, if this is a message, if there is an angel present, thank you for revealing your presence. And I open my eyes, and coming towards me is this infinite light, this pinpoint of light that's moving so fast, but yet it felt like time had frozen. The light's coming towards me, shooting towards me, and before I knew it, to my left, his right, was this gigantic figure of light. And I'm talking around 7 to 8 feet tall, elongated being with this long body like a tower, and my hair standing on end as I tell you about it right now. And this being had these eyes that were as dark as the midnight sky, but there was love there. And the being looked into my eyes, and the only way I could describe it is I felt naked. There was nothing that this being could not see. There was nothing that could be hidden. It knew everything and anything about me. I was spiritually naked. And in that moment, I heard this voice from within say, tell this man he is the survivor. And so I repeat the message. There's an angel standing behind you right now, and it wants you to know that you are a survivor. The guy says, what do you mean I'm a survivor? And I said, it feels to me that you've tried to leave this earth in one way or another, and something is keeping you here. There is a purpose and a meaning for your life. The guy was like, whoa, this is way too much. I've had enough. And as he said that, the angel disappeared. The voice disappeared from my mind, and the reading was complete. Later on that night, we go home, and my mother gets a call from her friend who was hosting the barbecue. And I can hear her, having this conversation, and she's going, oh, right, okay, I'll speak to him. So she calls on me and she says, what happened today at the barbecue? And so I said, well, I was trying to do a reading for this guy, and I closed my eyes, and then I started to hear this music in my mind, and the music became a message, and then all of a sudden there was an angel standing behind this guy, and it just told me to tell him that he was a survivor. And she goes, oh my God, what is going on? It turns out the man that I was doing the reading for had tried or attempted to take his own life several times. And every time he made this attempt, something unseen saved him. It seemed that whatever that may be appeared to me that night. And if you live in a small town, you'll probably know that word spreads like wildfire. And overnight, I was no longer a 15-year-old boy who was trying to bump his way through high school. I was the boy who could see angels. And every single time I tried to do it again, an angel appeared and told me a message. And that's how I ended up here where I am today. And that was 20 years ago this summer. Now, I want to go back to that story because there's a few important teachings in some of the initial experiences of me seeing this angel. And the first thing is, when the angel came through, they spoke to me in a way that I could understand. They chose music. And they chose a song that I would understand rather than what my client or, my potential client would have understood. They spoke to me in my words, my language, at my level. And so in that case, Destiny's Child, Beyonce, Kelly, Michelle, the band I grew up loving, came through as this message for me to get to the word survivor. The other important part was when the angel appeared. The angel didn't just look at me, the angel looked in me. And it's come to my understanding that it's not just about being able to see angels. It's about allowing ourselves to be seen by angels. And that's where the shift begins. Because truth be told, that most of us are living in this world from behind a shield. We only want people to see certain aspects of us. We only want people to know certain parts of our lives. We only reveal so much of our lives to even people we love. And so there's this shield up where really it's to do with our sensitivity to the world and, wanting to protect ourselves from being hurt or for our goodness to be taken advantage of. But the truth of the matter is, many of us don't realize that the blockage that we're having with connecting with angels isn't anything to do with, you've not developed your third eye enough, or your chakras are out of alignment. Of course, all of this information is important too. But the truth of the matter is that most of us are still not feeling good enough to be seen by angels. And most of us are still trying to perfect ourselves in some way, shape, or form in the hope that then after we do this thing, we'll then be good enough for the angels. But the truth of the matter is that where you are right now, your angels love you anyway. Your angels love you just because they do. Your angels love you because where you have come from is also where they have come from. You and your angels have both descended from the heart of God. And when your angel looks to you and into you, they see divinity. They see pure potential. They see the goodness that we might never be able to see in ourselves. And so as I come here today and share this information with you, and it's about, developing this connection to the angels, the big question I really have for you is this: are you willing to be seen? Are you willing to be witnessed by angels? And if you can break through this, then I will tell you that your ability to experience angels will be far different from where it was before. Because the truth of the matter is that so many of us have been trying to see them in our mind's eye and get them to come into our meditation and looking at people's auras and trying to, get into the mindset of being able to see our angels. But what if it was about allowing ourselves to turn the perception, shift the perception, in allowing ourselves to be witnessed? Now, I'm not so sure who here will relate to this, but for me, as someone who grew up in a loosely Christian household but had been going to a Christian church my entire life from the age of 4 till 16, one of the things that I learned in that part of my life, which I had to unlearn when I started to experience angels, is that I was never good enough for God. And, I was always working on asking for forgiveness and asking, for direction and trying to, be good enough and make the right decision, and always in this space of, never just being quite good. And the truth of the matter is that God does not forgive, for the presence of love has never condemned. And so your angels are not condemning beings. You are good enough anyway. So I just wanted to hear your feedback. I know some people like turn off the chat and some people like want to share, but it's really important as I make my way through this journey with you to hear your feedback, because I can't see you. We're not in the same room, and I need to know we're on the same track so that we progress on this journey together. So just diving into some of the questions that I have been sent in ahead of this call today. Do we only have one guardian angel, or can we have multiple at the same time? In my experience, most of us have more than one guardian angel. There is one specific angel that you will have forever. And this angel has been with you since before you come into this life, and they will be with you after it too. But as we progress along our life and through our journey, some angels come and go, depending on our life lesson or what phase we are in our journey. I've noticed that some people have more angels. I'll never forget this one time. I used to write for a newspaper as a columnist. I was called the Angel Whisperer. I wrote there for nearly 6 years, and I loved writing that column. And I remember doing a meet and greet with the newspaper, and there was this, line of people wanting to come and say hey. And I remember as this woman and her daughter were walking towards me, I just had this vision in my mind of this girl, and she had, I can't remember the exact number, but it was like between 7 and 9 angels around her. And I was like, whoa, that is insane. I've never seen so many people, so many angels around one person. So the mother of the girl comes up to me and she says, my daughter's really shy, but she's really excited to meet you. She's a really big fan. And I was like, oh, cool. I'd love to chat and say hey. And I was like, well, I want to be really honest. Your daughter has all these angels around her. And she was like, whoa, really? And so the little girl hears me say, that she has all these angels. And she says, well, how many angels do I have? And I think it was 7. And I said, you have 7 angels, 7 guardian angels around you. And her mom goes, 7? Whoa. And I was like, is that relevant in some way? And she said, my daughter was resuscitated 7 times in her life. And again, I'm getting every time she came back into her body, another angel was assigned to her. And so she had all these angels all around her. Blows me away to think about it. These synchronistic things happen that just really remind us how something is out there, you know? So yeah, we can have more than one angel, and I've encountered people with one, two, three, four, and all the way up to seven. So yes, we can have more than one angel, but you'll find that one angel is always louder than the others. Can I call on or speak to my guardian angels all the time? And the answer is yes. You can speak to your angels anytime, and it doesn't always have to be in prayer format. It could just be, easy, open, conversational connection. Because in order to connect with our angels deeper, it's important to also speak to them when things are going right, not just when things are going wrong. And I think that's where a lot of people face this gigantic block when it comes to opening up to angels, is that it's usually when the stuff has hit the fan that most of us will then start to pray and reach out to our angels or ask for help. And I've found that through the development of a relationship, just speaking to them day to day through everything that's going on in your life, you create a more powerful connection and relationship. And so when this stuff hits the fan, you'll feel like the connection is there to hold you through it rather than wondering if it's there or not. And that's where a lot of people get it wrong. A lot of people don't ask, don't pray, don't chat, don't connect in their life. Then when something goes wrong in their life, then they drop down to their knees and they start to pray. And then in that wonder of, is someone or something listening to me? That's when we say, I'm losing my faith. I'm not so sure. I'm this is real anymore. I've lost my faith, and they kind of fall out with their angels or God. And that's actually just self-sabotage, because the reason we have faith and the reason we develop this connection is that so we have a guiding force in our life, and if something goes wrong along the way, there's a power and a presence that we can call on to lead us forward and to guide us and to help us feel more safe, to help us heal, to help us get connected, and to help us find resolution. But usually when we kind of throw that moment of, I'm losing my faith, we're actually throwing ourselves into a state of even more darkness and uncertainty, when really the reason we learned all this stuff was that when the stuff goes wrong, when the stuff hits the fan, we can then lean on it. And that's the whole purpose of a spiritual connection. That's the whole purpose of faith. So yes, speak to your guardian angels all of the time. Develop that relationship. Open up that conversation. Share with them when things are going right, not just when things are going wrong. And you'll find that when you really do need help, it will be more accessible to you. Do our pets, animals, pick up on angels' presence? And I would say yes, some pets are really psychic, really connected, and some are not. So I've found that some of my animals definitely have something going on, and others are completely in their own planet, in their own world. Just kind of like humans, some people are more connected than others. So I would say that one of my dogs is particularly quite creepy. And then, yeah, my main big dog doesn't see anything. So it's quite interesting. You'll find that. And I've noticed that my cat, Ralph, definitely can see stuff, whereas my cat Haniel doesn't. So yes, some animals have connection and some of them don't. You'll find that. How do we know the difference between our angels and our thoughts speaking to us? This is a brilliant, brilliant question, because I think all of us wonder how to know the difference between the voice of love or intuition and the voice of fear, ego. And the best way to know when your angels are speaking to you, and this is going to be a game changer for you, is how you feel. If you experience or hear a message and you feel anxious and overwhelmed, and the possibility of whatever you're thinking about is getting to you, it's not your angels. If you hear guidance coming from source, God, angels, love, intuition, you will feel an instant air of calm. It does not matter if you are in a life or death situation. When your angels appear, they will make you feel so cool, so calm, so collected, even if it's like the most craziest of circumstance, and they will lead you towards safety. So when you're getting a message and you're wondering, is that my ego, am I making this up, or is this guidance? Ask yourself how you feel when you receive the information, and really just note how your body feels, how your nervous system feels. If you feel cool and calm and collected, it's your angels. If you feel anxious and time is against you, it's your ego. Because the egoic system is a linear system. It needs time. It needs to use something against you to kind of give you the fear that something is going to go wrong if you don't take action. Whereas your angels will just hold you and tell you what you need to do. And if you don't take action, that's still going to be okay anyway. So they have a coolness about them. I've noticed that in many people that I've met, interviewed, connected with over the years, people who are, being carjacked and have this voice that just says, do this, do this, do this, do that, and you'll be fine. And the angel spoke to them, and even though it was a really intense, stressful situation, they were really calm, they knew exactly what they were doing, and they got out safe. That's what our angels do. When I wrote for Women's World magazine for nearly 5 years as well, I got hundreds of messages in from people saying, I was driving and I just heard this voice say, change lanes now. And the changing lanes was just a suggestion. It wasn't a command, and it was a decision. But they heard the voice, they felt calm, and they changed lanes, only to find out that the truck in front of them had trees that were falling off the back of it, and they were saved. So when our angels speak, they will make us feel really calm and really collected, even if it's a life or death situation. And that's how you know the difference. What's the difference between guardian angels and spirit guides? Brilliant question. Angels are usually for the most part, non-humanoid beings, ancient beings emanating from the heart of God. And spirit guides are usually souls of people who have had a human existence, an incarnation, and then are dedicating their understanding and their knowledge and their experience of life to the growth of someone else from heaven. So the only difference between an angel and a spirit guide for the most part is one's had an ego and a body and one has not. Now, I said to you yesterday, or in the last call, I keep saying yesterday, but in case you're catching up, I said in the last call that some souls can become angels, but they have to transcend their ego in order to do so. That's why children can be angelic beings if they pass over too soon, because they've transcended ego. They never usually have ego in the first place, right? So spirit guides and angels work together. They're friends. They're existing in the same realm, and both of them offer a different perspective. The spirit guides offer a human perspective. They know what it's like to walk on this planet. The angels offer this non-judgmental, fully unconditional, loving approach, um, so that they kind of hold you in a space that if you could see yourself through their eyes, even just a little bit, any miracle would be possible. So both guides and angels work together, and all of us have angels and guides, and they're this team of support that surround us. Can I ask my angels to help my pets? Yes, you can, and your children, and anyone that you care for, anyone that you're a guardian for, whether that be a loved one, a parent. You can ask their angels to support them. You can ask your angels to support them. You can also, if you have difficulty in a particular relationship in your life, invite your guardian angel to speak to the angel of the person that you're having difficulty with, and the angels will work together to find a harmonious resolution. That's a really wonderful tool that I recommend if you've got, a challenging colleague or a family member or a monster-in-law that you really just want to get a better relationship with. Invite your guardian angel to speak to their guardian angel and to find a peaceful resolution between them. So, let's go into angel prayers. So the most important thing I'll say to you about angel prayers is this. Don't just pray when things go wrong. Pray when things go right as well. If you're like me, you probably learned to pray in some sort of religious setting or from someone who was religious. And for the most part, that style of prayer usually comes from this place of lack. So I learned to pray like this. Please God, help me with this. And then you would hope that your prayer would be answered in the future. And your job after you say the prayer is to have faith. Your hope is to have faith, right? I'm just going to grab a copy of Angel Prayers. And I have found that prayer is different. Prayer is not asking, it's actually about preparing. And so what I've found is the angels in the universe or God, whatever you want to call it, are connected to this totality of possibility. Anything is possible for angels. And our capacity to experience the answer that we are seeking is down to our capacity to accept that what we're asking for is possible for us. And so the truth of the matter is that whenever we ask for something, there's still a figment of our being, or a large part of our being, that does not believe that what we're asking for is possible. And so as I bumbled my way through life and through my early years, I was always trying to pray to a higher power. And I sometimes felt like something was happening, and other times I felt something wasn't happening. And then I was introduced to the work of this incredible leading figure called Louise L. Hay. And Louise L. Hay is the founder of Hay House Publishing. I'm sure you know that, but if you don't, you need to check her out. And I read in Louise's life-changing book that sold over, the last I checked, 40 million copies, You Can Heal Your Life, that there is no place more powerful than the present moment. And in order to experience a miracle, we have to just step into the totality of possibility. And I've come to see that when I was praying for a long, long time, I was always praying from a space of lack. Please help me with this, and then hoping that the future would bring the answer. I learned that gratitude is one of the highest vibrations possible. And when we are in a state of gratitude and optimism, when we are connecting to those feelings, whatever we plan to do in the future becomes way more possible for us just because of how we feel on the inside. And so I started to, instead of say, please angels, help me with this, and please angels, help me with that, I started to say, thank you, angels. And whatever I was praying for, I would say it as if my prayer had already been answered. And it started initially, and I'm going to be really honest, because I've been doing this a long time now, 20 years, right? So when I started to work like this, some of the things that I would have asked for and prayed for when I was a youngster are far too trivial and might not have meaning now, but they were demonstrations of what was possible. And there was this one time. So I'll tell you this. When I was younger, I used to always say, if you want to drive a red Porsche, you just have to say, thank you, angels, for the red Porsche. It feels so good to be in the red Porsche. I'm driving down the street in my red Porsche. So it's like you're in this kind of mindset of, yep, okay. So I used to say this. There's a really funny story around this one time, but I used to say this as a demonstration all the time when I was younger, and I was saying it for years, and I mean years upon years, and then for whatever reason, one day I went into this garage to have a look at cars, and there was this really snazzy red Porsche, and at the time I was driving like a vintage truck, and I loved it, but it was causing me a little bit of hip pain. And the car salesman comes up to me and he says to me, hey, is that you that drives that car out in the lot? And I was like, yeah, that's mine. He's like, oh, we've been looking for one of those. Maybe we could strike up a deal to, like, make it worthwhile for you trading it in. Is there any cars in the lot that you would really like? And I said, well, if I would love the red Porsche. And he's like, give me a little minute. And then he goes outside and he comes back and he's like, yeah, we can just do a straight swap if you'd love the red Porsche. So, I mean, it's really trivial. It's really trivial, but it's just showing you that words really are magnetic. And I mean, I probably had been saying it for like 5 years. There was not a part of me that necessarily believed I would be driving the red Porsche, but I did have that car for a short period of time, and it was really impractical, and I don't recommend it to anyone, but it was a really evident aspect of my life to show me that prayer really does work, and it can in turn work on a material thing. Now, with that being said, I really recommend that you don't ask for things, you ask for feelings. And that's really been the shift and the upgrade in my connection with the angels. Instead of asking for a specific outcome, you can actually ask for what the outcome would make you feel. So, for example, maybe you're working on a health situation at the moment and you're trying to overcome this challenge with your health. And you might say something along the lines of, please God, heal my shoulder issue, or please God, help me heal this disease. Well, the way I would recommend you would pray would be like this. Thank you, angels and God and Source, for the healing that has already been given to my body. It feels so good to emanate health and wellness. Thank you for the freedom that comes with me being topped up with health until I am overflowing. It feels so good to demonstrate to others that my body is a vehicle of miracles. That's an angel prayer. So instead of asking a specific thing, we speak as if what we're asking for has already been achieved. And it's not a specific outcome that we're praying for. We're praying as if we've already experienced the result and the feeling that comes with that prayer being answered. So when you're saying something to your angels, if you want to experience them for, a sign or a reminder that your angel is close, you would say, thank you, angels, for reminding me of your presence. It feels so good to know that you are here. Thank you for the demonstration that you are close to me. So you're saying it in a really positive and affirmed way, as if what you're asking for has already been delivered, and you can apply it to any aspect of your life. Thank you, angels, for the infinite opportunities for me to grow my business. It feels so good to be a magnet to opportunities, wealth, prosperity. I'm so grateful for all of the requests and the opportunities that are coming my way. It feels so good to be this successful. It feels so good to make an income that's sustainable for me and my family. That's how we do it. We pray in a way that what you're praying for has already been answered, and you're tuning into how good it feels. Now, you can take it to the next level, and you celebrate after you're finished your prayer practice. So you would put on like your favorite music, and you would start to dance and celebrate that your prayers have already been answered, that your prayers are already answered. You're imagining that you're experiencing I can see all the laughing faces and the love hearts. You're experiencing the truth that your prayer has delivered. And then once that has done, you just keep being in that gratitude space. And that's how you get your prayers answered. Your angels love you saying thank you. Your angels love to hear you say thank you, not because they want your praise, not because they want glorification. Your angels love to hear you say thank you because the gratitude you are feeling in your heart is magnetic to the presence of miracles, and you were destined for miracles. You were born to live a miraculous life. So thank you, angels, for, and you express the feeling. And then get into the next sentence. It feels so good to, and then you say the next line. And really put your oomph into it. Like, I'm the type of guy that gets his prayers answered because I show up. I give it my all. So Holy Spirit activate, like really bring it, really show up with all of your might, all of your might, and really feel it in your bones when you're saying these prayers. Another wonderful, wonderful thing that you can do is also say thank you, angels, every single time something goes right, something in your life. Here's one of the things that I do. I'm so grateful to the angels and to the universe and to God for the sustainable income that I've created in my life. I'm so grateful to be this abundant. I'm genuinely so grateful. And whenever I have the opportunity to treat my friends or my family to a dinner, I'll say, this one's on me, and I'll put my card down, and people will say, oh, thanks so much, Kyle. And I'll say, no, thank you, angels. Because without the angels, I wouldn't have this life and this experience, right? So like, I'll say, thank you, angels, for this. And, like, thank you, angels, for that. If I get to a destination safely, I'll be, thank you, angels. I'm constantly saying, thank you, angels. If I find a feather on my path or feel like I'm getting a sign, I'll say, thank you, angels. In fact, I met my friend's wife in the train station. It was pre shut down and all that. And I remember I was walking through this train station one day, and I was just having this out loud conversation with my guardian angel. And I said, thank you, angels. And as I kind of looked to my side, my friend's wife was there, and she's like, you really do this, don't you? You really do speak to angels. I'm like, yep, I do. And unapologetically, I'll say it when I'm on aircrafts, when I'm waiting to board, when I land safely. I say it out loud. It's something that I am so proud of and so connected to. So I invite you to bring the mantra of thank you, angels, into your everyday life. Every time something goes right, every time you have something to celebrate, every time you experience a miracle in some shape or form, say thank you, angels. Now, the reason why this is so important to you in taking your angel prayers to the next level is every time you say thank you, angels, you're building a rapport with these beings, and you're also training your mind to get into the space of gratitude that you need in your heart in order for you to become more magnetic to more opportunities, to more health, to more wealth, to more abundance, to more support, to more friendship, to more harmony in your relationships. We have to train ourselves to get into that optimal state of receiving. And thank you, angels, is a mantra that we can really use to get us there. So I invite you today to really get into that thank you, angels space. And I'd love to lead you through a little exercise to close up today's workshop, so that you can get there. And here's the thing, what I've just taught you is the kind of stuff that I normally only teach to certified angel guides. This is stuff that I want you to have in your back pocket, accessible to you, so that you can start to change your life and change your world and experience more miracles and become magnetic to the presence of angels. And if this works for you, I highly recommend that you go out and you teach that to your loved ones, your children, your family, to help them become more magnetic to their angels and to miracles and light. So let's do a little prayer practice together. Mint tea, cheers. I've got my Dublin mug tonight, so let's rub our palms together. And then shake your hands around your body a little bit just to shake off the day. Feels good to do this. I want to be really honest right now. I have a really nice top on, but I have Star Wars pajama bottoms on. Okay. Then allow your palms to face upwards in your lap. And I want you to close your eyes down and just take 3 deep breaths. I want you to think about something that you're grateful for. Something that lights you up from the inside out. It could be thinking about someone you love, a blessing of your day. Or even your health. And as you experience this gratitude, I want you just to say the words either mentally or out loud. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The gratitude you feel is magnetic to the presence of angels. And it switches on this light in the center of your being that grows brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter until it washes through the entirety of your physical body and being. This light is the light of your soul. Today, you're encouraged to bask in that light. And your light is attractive in nature, that draws towards you the presence of your guardian angel and angels that surround you. And to those angels, mentally or out loud, say, thank you, angels. Thank you, angels, for reminding me of your presence. It feels so good to know you are here. And to that, take a deep inhale. Deep exhale. And be aware of any colors you see in your mind, any words or sensations, any scents or perfumes, any tingling or light. Your angels are here with you now. And if there's an area of your life that you know you need some extra support with, begin to think about the best possible outcome of this situation. Begin to imagine and feel how good it would feel for things to go this way. Tune into the energy of joy and freedom. Allow it to reach into your bones. And then say, thank you, angels, for the healing that has already been given to this situation. It feels so good to experience joy, freedom, excitement. It feels so good to live the best version of my life. I am so grateful to feel this way. And take a big deep breath to that. And know that as you step into this energy, angels of light are dancing around you in celebration of you, magnetizing towards you the miracles that you deserve. Angels are willing to support you every step of the way. And now be open to any guidance that they have for you. Say the prayer, thank you, angels, for revealing to me what I need to know. I am willing to listen. And right now into your heart, your mind, your body, your intuition, your conscious, you're being told the next step that you need to take that will lead you towards your freedom, your healing, your totality of possibility. And whatever you know you need to action, say thank you. You've probably already heard it 1,000,000 times. But here it is showing up one more in the hope that you'll listen. Big inhale. Big exhale. And say thank you, angels. Rub your palms together again. Bring them into prayer. Thumbs into the heart, elbows out to the side, and we'll just set a collective intention today that whatever we've gained from this coming together in this webinar, may all the good energy that we've created be good energy for all beings in the four corners of the world. And in particular, we reach our light out to those who need it most, in particular, the children, the animals, and the marginalized of this planet. Thank you, angels, for lifting them up to be seen, heard, helped, supported, and led on their way to freedom and joy and happiness and health. We say these prayers today in the presence of the great Mother Earth and the great Father of the sky. And so it is. And just open your eyes And I'm going to get you to reach your prayer up above your head and open your angel wings out. I'm so excited that we have done this together. Tomorrow's lesson is going to be about signs. We're going to go deep into signs. So if you want to know how your angels speak to you and you want to know the real reason behind signs, you make sure you are at part 3 of the Connecting with Your Angels for Guidance and Protection webinar. I look forward to seeing you then, and I'm going to be picking someone to receive an angel reading in front of everybody that's here. Do not miss this. I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.